Okay. Hopefully everybody can hear me. I don't know if anybody's on here yet or not. But all right, so we wanted to go through these. We kind of picked them up to check it out. This isn't necessarily what intrigued me so much, the Phillies, but there's one later on, the other binder we're excited to look at to see. I'll show you guys in a little while what all we can pull out. We're hoping for some exciting stuff in here. This is all just junk wax. It looks like I haven't really thumbed through it or anything, but I figured I'd check it out. So maybe if we see if we can tip it up a little bit like that. Kind of. How's that look? Looks all right, right? Maybe we can aim it up a little. Back it up. Okay. That's not too bad. All right, so it looks like they're just one-sided. There's not two sides on the... So this is going to be the Phillies, obviously with an Allen Trammell stuck in the middle there. We'll go through this at another time and kind of look at it, but we paid about $38 on ShopGoodwill.com for this stuff, so we figured we'd thumb through it. We got some 90 Donruss. It's always exciting. Little Lenny Dykstra. It looks like they're in teams, you know. Terry Mulholland, pride of Marietta College there. So we're just going to see if we actually got a good deal on this. Like I said, it was about 38 bucks for all that. This is all Phillies. We got a whole lot of Von Hayes MVPs on here. You know, for $38, that was shipping, tax, tag, title, everything included. There's some sweet Pat Combs rated rookies. But we just hopped on the auctions for ShopGoodwill.com, and it was this and another binder. And really the other binder was the one that we were kind of hoping was going to be the one that had some money stuff in it. So we'll see if that's it. Like I said, the Phillies, unless there's some Mike Schmidt in here or something, you know, nothing too exciting. Let's see. We got some 89 Donruss. A little Steve Bedrosian, Roger McDowell. You know, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you pick up on the ShopGoodwill.com. I do have a Goodwill. It's within about an hour of me. It's the closest one, but it doesn't ever have stuff like this. So I got to hit the ShopGoodwill.com. I don't know what you guys do. There we go. There is some Mike Schmidt. That's the first one we've seen of him up there. So that's not too bad. We'll go through later, like I said, sometime tonight and kind of clear this out. There's another Allen Trammell MVP. Dale Murphy. We'll always take a Dale Murphy. There's another Mike Schmidt. So not terrible. At least there's some stars in here for the Phillies. A little Lenny Dykstra, Dutch. So, you know, for 38 bucks, I mean, it doesn't look terrible. There's a good amount of cards. All of them seem to be, you know, like a full binder, like no one's gone through and popped any out or anything. So you can see a couple of rookie cards that we've gone through. Now we're on to 90 Bowman. Looks like we're on to the Expos now. So, oh, Dave Martinez isn't bad. I'm sure there's a Moises Alou or something like that in here. But on the Expos, you're going to be looking for like a Randy Johnson or something like that. Ooh, there's a little minor league Jacksonville Expos card of Brian Barnes. Like I said, it's just single-sided. They're not two-sided, tucked away in there. There's a little big cap. So, yeah, there's still some stars in here. I don't know for 38 bucks that this binder will be worth it. We're hoping, like I said, the next binder we get to is going to be the one with the money stuff. Ooh, there you go. Got a Randy Johnson rated rookie. We'll go ahead and pop that out right now. That's not too bad. So, yeah, that's the first kind of halfway decent of what I would say is a big card that we got. How we doing? How we doing, Rich? But I figure, you know, if you can find these deals on there on the Shop Goodwill, sometimes it's worth a shot. You know, that Randy Johnson's not bad at all. Galarraga, I mean, it could be a lot worse. Like, it could be all commons that were in here. And the pictures, they only showed, like, maybe, like, a picture of that, and then, like, there were only 4 pictures of the cards that were in here. So part of the reason that I bought them was going to be that other binder because of the team that it was. I mean, I'll tell you who it is. It's the Mariners. So obviously when we get to the Mariners book over here, I mean, this is a decent amount of pages, but, you know, we got the Expos. We'll be looking for some more Randy Johnson and stuff like that. But when we get to the Mariners book, which it looks like that's the one that was all Mariners, or at least the pictures I saw were mostly Mariners, let's put it that way. There's a whole lot of Rock Reigns. There's 5 of those. When we get to that, we're going to be looking for some Griffies and stuff. There's a solid amount of Marquise Grissom and Delino to shoot. That's a lot of speed on this page. A lot of speed. That's pretty cool. And probably all those will pop. I mean, they're in good shape. Corners look good. And that's got a little edge fray, but that's because it's sticking out the top here. But, hey, that's not too bad. Like I said, it doesn't look like they pulled any stars out. There's some Larry Walkers. I think that's Larry Walker rookie cards right there. So, hey, Robert, just picked this stuff up at Goodwill, off of Shop Goodwill, and figured I'd go through it with you guys, just see what we got. I've also got some local finds that I found that people that were just selling their cards and, you know, wanted to make a deal. I'll go through some of that stuff. That stuff's in rough shape. There's another Larry Walker rookie, big cat. So, I mean, it's not not bad. There's some stars in here. For 38 bucks, I mean, I don't think it's a terrible deal, you know, and hopefully we'll pull some Griffies out of the Mariners ones. Yeah, I mean, it's not, it could have been a lot worse, you know, it could have been a lot worse of stuff that, you know, it could have been all commons. It could have been, you know, there's the Delano Shields prospect card from 90 Fleer. Well, Dave Martinez, it's all expos. But I mean, still, you know, you got Larry Walker in here, you got that Randy Johnson was really, so far, the best card that we pulled out. There's a couple Dodgers floating around in there. I've noticed every once in a while there's just something kind of random in there. Dennis Martinez. So these are going to be that's a leaf gold right there. That's not too bad on the Larry Walker. I think it's 91. 92 leaf gold, but that's the gold. That's not too shabby at all. I mean, for being junk wax, you're going to be looking for, you know, some of these leaf gold cards. If there's tops, I haven't really seen any tops. I've seen all Donruss, stuff like that, but if there's tops, you're going to be looking for tops gold and stuff like that and looking for the superstars. But I mean, for 38 bucks for this binder and another binder, you got a Lou up here. You know, it's not a horrible deal. It could have gone a lot worse. Another Larry Walker down there. Oh, see, there's a Cliff Floyd. Score 92. I'm pulling out some of the better rookies. All we really had so far is a Randy Johnson, that gold. That's cool on the Barnes card. Little pitching in motion. You see that a lot in the upper deck stuff, but I don't know that I recall seeing that in the 92 score. That's kind of cool. We got a little rookie cards up here, down here. Nobody big, but you got a no-hit club there from Mark Gardner. No really rookies. Delano Shields, Dennis Martinez, Dave Martinez. Dave Martinez up here on the 90 or on the 92 score hit club. Then we're into 93 score, I think. Larry Walker. We're still on the Expos. Maybe we'll run into some Pedro or something like that if we keep going here. There's a Cliff Floyd, Will Cordero. I mean, this isn't a horrible deal for 38 bucks. I'm not going to complain about it. There's Tim Raines. There's Andre Dawson on the star stickers. 87. I don't know what we're searching for here on the 87 tops, but we are into the tops. This is the first tops we've gotten into. We're just going to thumb through these. It's not really going to be any huge in that, or 88 for that matter. Pascal Perez. So, I mean, it could be much worse. There's a little Tim Raines down there, but I'll definitely take it. I'm not going to complain about it. There's a Rock Raines down here on the All-Star card. All right, let's see. And really, when I looked at the listing, it was really just like 1 or 2 pages, so I didn't know what teams were in here. Like the team stickers are cool. So far we've had the Phillies with a Tiger mixed in and a couple of Dodgers mixed in, and then the Expos. The best, see, there's the Moises Alou cards that I was talking about running into. And this is where, once you get into these tops, is where you're going to start looking for like a Topps Gold or something like that. I haven't seen any of those yet, but, we'll keep an eye out. There's a little B.J. Wallace, 92. Too bad it's not the Yankees, and we could have a couple Jeters in there. That would have been solid. And you never know, like when Goodwill would have maybe had. Oh, there's a Topps Gold right there. Speaking of the devil, not anybody huge, but Kit Bottenfield, a little Topps Gold action. That's cool. Maybe we'll find a couple of those. Now down here we're starting to see some missing stuff, so I wonder if there was like something huge in there, and or they just didn't fill in those pages. I don't know. There's Larry Walker, Marquise Grissom, Delano Shields. They kind of all run together. Oh, I got some Stadium Club. That's not bad. Always like some Stadium Club. But it's not, there's Upper Deck. Will Cordero, rookie. I mean, this isn't anything you're retiring off of, but I think we probably, I think it was worth it to get this and just to kind of look through and see what we got. You know, I paid 38 bucks for it. Oh, we're on to the Dodgers here. Paid $38 for this binder and the one that I saw had some Mariners stuff in it. There's a little Ramon Martinez. So we're hoping when we get to the Mariners binder that there's some Griffey cards in there. That's kind of around this year's. I was like, ooh, maybe there'll be a Griffey rookie. Although, you know, they probably would have showed that picture. There's a Jose Offerman rookie. We haven't seen any more golds. Fernando Valenzuela, Oral Hershiser. I mean, so some of the stars are still in here. But, you know, like I said, not anything that anyone's going to retire off of. And then after this, we'll thumb through some. I have a couple boxes of cards that are in rough shape, but people were just kind of wanted to get rid of them. Some of them were recovered from a fire. Oh, there's a Mike Piazza, Jimmy Dean rookie. That's not too bad. There you go. The Jimmy Dean sausage, Mike Piazza. Put that over there. We haven't seen any more Topps Gold. I'm trying to look for it whenever it comes through. There's some Oral Hershiser. Ramon Martinez. There's a minor league card, Classic Best. Mike Sosa. Oral Hershiser. So it's not as exciting as the Dodgers now when you're thumbing through Dodgers cards and you're looking for a Shohei or, you know, Freddie Freeman or somebody like that. Roki. Roger McDowell. There's not any big rookies. Really, the biggest rookie we came through was a 89 Donruss. Randy Johnson is the biggest rookie that we found so far. We found one Topps Gold. We had a Cliff Floyd rookie, Mike Piazza rookie, Tom Goodwin. You know, will I make my money back on this? Probably not. But there's Pedro Martinez on the Pinnacle, Team 2001. That's not too bad at all. Let's see, Raul Mondesi, Fernando Valenzuela, 87 Topps. I thought that was a Topps Gold, but it's not. That is a Donruss. Now, I think there's like a Gold Rush or something like that in one of these. We'll see if we come across any of those. Dave Hansen, no big rookies. Mike Sharperson. Now we're on to some 90 Donruss. I don't know if there's going to be any big Dodgers in that. But, I mean, it's a lot of cards for 38 bucks. Kirk Gibson. Pages stuck together. But you got the Sosa regular card, and then you've got the Grand Slammers right here. Oral Hershiser. I mean, so it's not, this is not terrible. They didn't pull any of the stars out. So at least they're in here. At least I don't think they did. We've seen most of the rookies and everything. Fernando Valenzuela. It's all pretty much the same guys. There's Eddie Murray. I think it's the first time we've seen him. There's an Eric Karros rookie. We got a Pedro and Ramon Martinez. Superstar. We'll pull that Pedro out of there. Why not? Well, maybe because it's stuck. Maybe why not is because it's stuck. We've still only seen one Topps Gold, which kind of makes me a little upset. I was hoping there'd be more Topps Gold, but there's a Pedro and Ramon Martinez. Got a Kirk Gibson Captain Crunch card. Good old Captain Crunch. Eddie Murray. Got the manager's team card. Dax Winslet and Ronnie Walden. Be interesting to see where those guys ended up. Big Cap. Got Andre Dawson. Fernando Valenzuela. Gary Carter. These are all kind of Pedros. I don't think that's a Pedro. That was a second Pedro, wasn't it? I don't think that's a rookie, but we'll just take Pedro out of there. Why not? There's Pedro. Collector's Choice. Be a third year card. Set that over there. Why not? Gary Carter. Still no Topps Gold. There's a Fernando Valenzuela down here in the bottom corner. I mean, it's you know, this is just something fun to look through. Hey, there's another Topps Gold. Oh, there's one right there. Eric Karros Gold Cup. Topps Gold. That's not shabby. It's not too shabby. There's the old Topps Gold. Eric Karros. All right, so that is our second Topps Gold, and I see another one of Tom Gordon up here. Oh, Tom Goodwin. Why did I say Gordon? That's my first time talking, everybody. Enjoy the show of me speaking about nothing. Earl Hershiser, 59 and counting. That's always a cool card. Kind of always wanted to pull that one when you were a kid. Ramon Martinez, Earl Hershiser. So, I mean, the All-Stars are here. Ooh, there is another. That's interesting. There's another Tom Goodwin, Topps Gold, as the second one of those, and our fourth Topps Gold out of here. So at least you kind of know somebody didn't come through and pull out all the Topps Gold and everything. Not that it's been anybody huge, but for 38 bucks, I think this was a pretty good deal. Gives me something to look through. I'm pretty sure I have most of these cards. Maybe not the golds and all that stuff, but I know I have all the other ones. Okay, so that is the end of this notebook. If I can close it properly. Whoa. Yeah, the pages want to come off down here. All right, so this next one that we are going to look at is the one that really is what caused us to purchase this, because we thought, oh yeah, this has got a bunch of Mariners in it. So let's see what we got. Go through and check out the Mariners. There we go. Got some 90 Bowman Mariners. We're going to be looking for Griffey in here. I don't see some Harold Reynolds. I don't see any Griffey. There's Eric Hansen. I don't see. That's what I'm talking about. I don't like that. Like if there was a Griffey, like an 89 Griffey Donruss sitting right there, that would have been awesome. But no. All right, no Griffey on that page. Just Harold Reynolds. Bunch of that. Let's see. Edgar Martinez. It's not too shabby. We can live with an Edgar Martinez. Still no Griffey, though. Maybe a 90 Donruss. Omar Vizquel, Gary Carter. I don't know why we threw a Met right there in the middle of the Mariners, but this is why we bought it. Hoping there'd be some Griffies in here, but so far, no Griffey. Strikeout, no Griffey. Jerry Reed, not the singer. Not the singer. Jeffrey Leonard, still no Griffey. Alvin Davis, another Met in there. Julio Machado, rated rookie. Darnell Coles, Scott Bradley. I don't like how this is shaping up here. I don't see any Griffies coming up. Bob Ojeda. Jay Buhner. See, like all this could have been Griffies for all I know. Well, maybe not. I mean, maybe they just didn't have any Griffies. Omar Vizquel. But I find it hard to believe that you would have all these Mariner cards and no Griffey. There's some Tino Martinez rookies. We'll pull those out of there. We'll take a Tino Martinez rookie. Oh, that's weird. They sleeved it up and then put it in the binder. Very interesting. It's a very interesting technique to collecting there. We'll just take it out of there. Very interesting. Okay. So Tino Martinez rookie. Still no Griffies, though, out of this whole binder. That's kind of why we bought this thing. Was because one of the binders had a bunch of Mariner stuff in it. And no Griffey. We got Mike Gardner, Gardner, Edgar Martinez, Omar Vizquel. Still no Griffies or Topps Gold or anything like that. Omar Vizquel, Lance Parrish, Tino Martinez, not a rookie. Huh. See, this makes me nervous that there was some Griffies in here and they just pulled them out of here. But, I mean, for $38, we got all those other cards earlier. We got a bunch of Harold Reynolds. I'm sure there's a Harold Reynolds buyer out there somewhere looking for stuff. Lance Parrish, Omar Vizquel. Oh, there's another Leaf Gold. We'll take that out of there at least for Calvin Jones. At least the other Leaf Gold that we had was Larry Walker. That's somebody that people actually might be looking for. Let's see. Omar Vizquel. Mark Newfield. That was a card back in the day. Man, still no Griffies, though. Out of all this, still no Griffies. Henry Cotto, Russ Swan, Pat Rice, Edgar Martinez. If anyone sees a Griffey, just shout it out. I don't think I'll miss it. Ooh, see, there's some Gold Rush. As I said, we're going to be looking for some score Gold Rushes. Let's see what we got. We got Mackie Sasser is our first. I guess we'll call him our first because that's the first one we came to. Mackie Sasser is our first Gold Rush on the score. The base score is going to look like that. And then you're going to have the Gold Rush. And on the back, it usually says Gold Rush right there on that card. So that's kind of like the Leaf Gold or Topps Gold or something like that. But we got 2 of them. Now, Tino Martinez is not terrible one to get. Obviously, we prefer Griffey in that. But we have, as of yet, to see a single King Griffey Jr. card in here. So, we got Paul Sorrento. Now, ain't definitely going to be in there. Ooh, it'd be nice if there was a 90 Topps Griffey. Nope. See, I feel like there could have been Griffeys here, and somebody, I don't know, somebody at Goodwill might have pulled them out, or just if the person didn't have any. I don't know. Huh. No more Topps Gold. No Griffeys at all. And a whole binder, almost. This is almost a whole binder of Seattle Mariners, which is the whole reason why we purchased this thing for $38. We got this binder and another binder. You would hope that there was at least one King Griffey Jr. card. We got a Kevin Mitchell Topps Gold. Take that out. Kevin Mitchell Topps Gold. That's about our 4th or 5th Topps Gold. Ooh, there we go. There's an Omar. Oh, there's 2 of them right here. Let's take this one out. That is going to be Kevin King and Eric Plantenberg. Yep, I bet that's a hot commodity right there. And this Omar Vizquel, which actually someone might actually purchase that one. Good old Omar Vizquel on the Topps Gold. Then we're on the Stadium Club. Still no Griffey. Not a single Griffey. This person collected all the Mariners, but apparently no Griffies. Or they sold them a long time ago, or someone pulled them out of the Goodwill. And this is the last page. No Griffies, that whole binder. Woo, which is why we bought it. So, this one here, this box here, somebody gave us to kind of look at and see. Let me adjust that a little bit. Kind of look and see if there was anything exciting in it. And I told them that there may be some exciting cards, but they're definitely not in the greatest condition. And there are what I would call rat droppings in the bottom of the box. So I'm sure, now most of these are sleeved up, and I will, like I can show you the bottom of the box. Rat and roach. These are roached, as we would say. So let's take a look at these. These are going to be flare cards. Looks like they're just taken out of the pack and put in here. So we'll see if there's anyone good. I haven't really looked through these. I mean, I kind of glanced at them and thumbed through them. Chan-Ho Park. Paul Molitor. Molitor's not bad. Chris Sabo on the Orioles. Set those over there. It's an empty box. Empty box. See what we got here. I mean, Pat Henkin, Todd Benzinger, Dutch. I mean, these are halfway decent cards. They look like they're a bunch of football with a little bit of baseball sprinkled in. But we'll take a look at them. Why not? That's Shannon Sharp. I think it's just a regular one. We've got another Shannon Sharp. Catching Fire. There's Brett Favre. I mean, these aren't bad. Tim Salmon, other than rat droppings. Let's see. Aaron Seeley, Ryan Klesko, Kirby Puckett. I mean, so the 94 Flair is you know, it's a pretty set with great pictures and all that stuff. Joe Carter. I mean, there's a Bonds. I mean, these are some good cards. Just they were in rough shape to start with. Sheffield, Maddox, Dave Justice. We're definitely doing better on these than we did in the binders. There's a Dan Marino. So there is some baseball in here. There's a Cliff Floyd. We've got action-packed Jerry Rice, kind of silver. That's not too shabby. Tim Salmon again. Another Tim Salmon. Big Tim Salmon fans. Gary Brown, Proline Elite. They're not numbered or anything. There's a Heath Schuler rookie. Jameer Miller. Willie McGinnis. Eric Pegram. Shannon Sharp. Jeff George. Yep, Jeff George. Jay Novacek. Mo Vaughn. So I mean, these are definitely okay cards, but I mean, you can see, like I don't know if I can catch the light on that, but they're kind of moisturized and they're nicely, freshly moisturized. Willie Rolfe, Ron Moore, Rick Meyer, Eric Curry. Got an Andre Reed. Chris Warren. Yeah, Chris Warren. Get these out of my hand. Troy Aikman. Ooh. Troy Aikman got a little crease on him. It's a little crease there, so I can catch the light on it. Yeah, right down the center. There's a nice crease on Troy Aikman. Jim Kelly. Another Shannon Sharp. We got plenty of Shannon Sharps. There's a Rod Woodson. 94 Fleer. Got a little Dion. Jerry Rice. I don't know who that is. Let's see. Glenn Milburn. Tyrone Hughes. So these aren't too bad. Let's see. These are kind of. There's a Hector Carrasco Diamond Debuts. I don't think that's numbered or anything. Doesn't look like it. There's a Michael Irvin that some rats visited. That had some rat visit on the Michael Irvin. Trent Dilfer has seen some better days. But we basically, it was some people that we knew that were just like, we just want to get rid of these. And so they kind of gave them to us to open up on the channel here. Rick Meyer had a little rat/roach love on him. Willie McGinnis, a little rough corner down there. So I figured we'll go through it on the channel after we went through that Goodwill stuff. Marcus Allen, Barry Foster, I'm trying to keep the light out of it. Another Gary Brown. Dan Marino on the spotlight for the Classic. Trent Dilfer. Thurman Thomas. Another Thurman Thomas. Ricky Waters. This looks action-packed. These are all kind of flipped around. Let's see if we can get them turned the right way. Ooh, maybe there we go. Yeah, like I said, a lot of this is football, but it's not horrible. John Elway. Derek Thomas. Joe Montana. Jerry Rice. Trying to keep my John Elway. Oh, that's lovely. We'll be keeping that Emmitt Smith card right there. That'll stay with us. We'll put it over here in the keeper pile for us. Junior Seau. Sterling Sharp. Ricky Waters. Reggie Brooks. Natron Means. Got a pile going on over here. Ricky Waters. Dan Marino. Ooh, that's not bad. That is a Marshall Faulk rookie card right there. Put that in the rookie pile over here that we got. Sterling Sharp. Brett Favre. Thurman Thomas. It'd be cool if it was a Thurman Munson on the Bills card. That'd be interesting. Andre Rison. Another Jeff George. Oh, see, these Topps Finest are really pretty, but they blew out like that. Like, that's the problem. They either green or blew out. But Topps Finest is always a pretty card. I don't know about Chris Slade, but that's definitely seen some better lighting days on that. Antonio Langham. Dwayne Washington. Trev Alberts. There's a Michael Irvin. Another Dan Marino. Hot numbers, 13. Like, these are definitely not bad, but as you can tell, they're kind of let's see if I can show you. Like, if I were to try to get that out of there, it is suction. You can hear that crisp little, yep. So, Eric Rett, Aaron Glenn, Marcus Allen, Thurman Thomas also. Yep. Tim Brown, Rondell Moore. See the Sterling Sharp. I think it's just the Packers colors on that makes it look pretty cool, but these guys are turned around again. Flip it over, Wayne Gandy. I mean, they're not bad cards and they're not bad players, but the condition is not great. I don't know that I can do much with these other than, like, make a lot of some of these guys. Try not to scratch my nose because this box has got some serious issues with it. Langham, McGinnis, Rick Meyer, Natron Means, Dan Marino, Drew Bledsoe, Michael Irvin. with a Glen Allen Hill stuck in the middle. There's a Dan Marino. We've got Wangan. There's an Emmett right there. Top-loaded Emmett. That's interesting. Skybox. We'll put that over there in Emmett collection. Jim Kelly. Sterling Sharp. Charlie Huff with a bat. You don't see that every day. Charlie Huff with a bat. There's an Alvin Harper. Barry Sanders. We'll put Barry Sanders over there. He's always got a good following and collection. Shannon Sharp. Derek Thomas. Another Eric Rett. There's a Troy Aikman. I don't collect as much Aikman or Irving as I do Emmett. There's a Marshall Faulk. Another Marshall Faulk rookie. That is our second Marshall Faulk rookie in this box. You know, for someone just wanting to get rid of the cards and, you know, us saying, yeah, we'll get rid of them. And I told him, I said, if I sell some of these, I'll split the money with you. There's another Emmett. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. I don't know that condition-wise any of this is going to be exciting to sell. There's a Kevin Williams. But stuff like these Barry, like this Barry Sanders, you know, has some value. So, might as well just give it a go. Yeah, I have not found any LeBron in this stuff. I have one more box to go through of Jerry Rice, Jerome Bettis. I have one more box to go through. What is that? That is a Fleer all-rookie set exchange card. I am willing to bet that all-rookie exchange card. What do we got going on here? Okay, I'm willing to bet that all-rookie exchange card has probably expired. Yeah, 12/31/94. I don't know if we can still send that in. Sometimes you can send stuff in, old redemptions. I've sent a few things in and got some care packages, but that's usually from Topps. I think Upper Deck has Fleer now, or somebody owns Fleer, where you might be able to send it into them, but I don't know. Mario Bates, O.J. McDuffie, that looks like a gold, one of the gold signatures. Yeah, that's more gold than silver. I think that's the only gold that we've come across so far. Dana Stubblefield, Willie McGinnis rookie, Rod Woodson. Maybe the gold's not anything special. I've seen silver ones. Maybe silver is, I don't know. I haven't opened football from this area in a very long time. Huh. I'm not even going to give that name a try. Pozo? Huh. Okay. There's a Troy Aikman. Brent Jones. McGinnis. But for somebody just handing us some cards and, you know, saying, hey, if you can sell some of them, sell them. If not, no big deal. It's always fun. There's Michael Irvin, Drew Bledsoe, Joe Montana. There's been a couple Montana cards, a couple Marino cards. There's another Joe Montana. Aikman. It's all 94 Fleer. There's an Emmett. We'll set Emmett over in his own pile. Rick Meyer, Jerome Bettis, Joe Montana. There's another one of those Gold Rush that we saw in the last ones. That is a Shannon Sharp. Gold Rush. It says Gold Rush right here. And you got your gold zone, I guess. Gold zone. We'll set that over there with the other golds that we have. Garrison Hurst, Rick Meyer, Natron Means, Classic Combos, Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, Metcalf, Jerry Rice, Natron Means. So it's all pretty much, there's a Favre to Sharp, Bledsoe. It's all pretty much the same guys. That's a second Dion that we've come across right there. Got a Leo Gomez, Phil Simms, Garrison Hurst. There's a lot of droppings and stuff falling off of here. Lamar Smith, rookie. Sterling Sharp, you can see it down there in the, like down over here. I'll have to clean that up before we can move on to the next thing. I figure we'll be on here for about an hour, see how it goes. Tim Brown, John Elway, Eric Rett. There's been some Elway, Steve Young. That's the first Steve Young I think we've seen. There's some more of the Topps finest, but as you can see, they start, like that's the problem with finest. It starts, the colors just start going all. Steve Ettman, John Taylor, Sam Mills. There's another Dion. Leonard Marshall, Wilbur Marshall. There's not really been any big ones on the Topps finest. What is this right here? There's a card stuck up underneath this lip. Maybe this will be the money maker. Nope. Tim Brown. We'll start putting these back in the box. All right, let's see. Cecil Fielder, Sterling Sharp, Ryan Klesko, Pokey Reese on the Upper Deck Top Prospects, Preston Wilson, Dan Marino, Bettis. I mean, it's not, this stuff isn't terrible. You know, these cards have a little bit of value. They're turned around all kinds of crazy. I think in this set, you're probably looking for like a Jeter rookie. I don't think it's worth much, but Eric Rhett, Meyer, what do we got? Shannon Stewart, the classic alumni, 1990. There's another Barry Sanders. Had a few Barry Sanders cards. Another Emmett. Bunch of Dan Marino, so I'm not going to complain about. Thurman Thomas, Ricky Waters, Reggie Brooks. So we have a box of stuff also to go through. We won't do it tonight. We'll do it another night. But we have a box of stuff to go through that was rescued out of a fire. So it smells very smoky and it's very charcoaly and dirty. We're hoping there's some hidden gems in there. We paid $50 for it because the people just really wanted to get rid of it. And it's a lot of work. And I'm going to try to clean some of the cards and do work some magic on them, see if we can find anything worth saving. Let's see. I don't know who that. I can't even see that. That is a Kurt Abbott. There's a Carlos Delgado, Wave of the Future. I don't think that's a parallel or anything, but we'll put that over there. That's not bad. Dave Stanton. Rick White. Oh, that's pretty cool. There's a 94 Fleer Barry Bonds. A little before everything hit him, before he packed on his size, we'll say. That's a pretty Barry Sanders card. Not too shabby. Michael Irvin, we'll put the Barry Sanders over here. And there's a lot of Sterling Sharp and Shannon Sharp in here. I will say that. There's an excessive amount of those guys. Let's see. These are just sleeves, pack of sleeves. We'll probably not ever use those, but... All right, Kevin Smith. These are not sleeved up. Oh, those are stuck together. We'll pull them. There's an Emmett. Of course, that's paper loss. We won't hang on to that. And Emmett. Of course, the ones that are stuck together are the Emmett cards that we would have kept. I'm thinking about getting a humidor to try to save some of the bricks that I've got around here. I have boxes of bricked up cards. There's Dave Justice. That's not too bad. I was hoping that would be a Griffey. Barry Larkin. It's not terrible. Alex Fernandez, Chuck Finley, Andre Dawson, Chris Hoyles, Destrada. So, I mean, there's not anything huge in here. What's this stuck? Something stuck here. There we go. Oh, that is a award winner smashed up Emmett Smith card. There's an Emmett, Sterling Sharp, Troy Aikman, Aaron Glenn, Dana Stubblefield, Rodney Hampton, Eric Pelgrim, Barry Foster, Jerry Rice. These are turned around backwards. We'll turn them around. It's Jerry Rice. That's pretty cool looking for a Jerry Rice card. Herman Moore. Let's see. Are all these backwards? Yeah, it looks like it. All right. We'll flip them around then. Do it just like that. Of course. As soon as we do that, Emmett is. But I did that. Greg Maddux and Fred McGriff and Javier Lopez are all backwards. There you go. Javier Lopez, Fred McGriff, Greg Maddux on the flare. We got some action-packed John Elway. We got some action-packed Jim Everett. We've got some action-packed Steve Young. We've got the action-packed. These are all silvered. I think there's golds of these too. Bernie Kosar. Action-packed Randall Cunningham. There's a Troy Aikman. Brett Favre, Thurman Thomas, another Dion with, ooh, man, we're definitely going to have to clean this area. Kirby Puckett, is that yeah, it is. It is an electric diamond. Let's take a closer look at the electric diamond because that's the first one we've gotten of those. There's a Kirby Puckett electric diamond. It's the first electric diamond we pulled out of here. Jim Kelly, Shannon Sharp, Tim Brown, Oral Hershiser, Doc Gooden, Jim Laritz, Rodney Hampton, Antonio Fryer, and Sterling Sharp. So we can put all these back in here. And there's one more box of the cards that we got from these people that just wanted to get them out of there. And we told them we'll try to sell some for them if we can. But we need to clean up our area here a little bit because of our roach/rat droppings or whatever that is. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have to wash our hands before we do anything today or this evening. All right, let's go through the next box of stuff that they had. Oh, actually there are two more boxes. This one just had that. Just had that. Another one of those flare packs. And then we have, we have this bad boy as part of that. As you can see, the boxes are not in the best condition, and you've seen what's falling off of these cards. So I would have to re-sleeve, probably clean up a lot of this. There's a Mike Schmidt, Mike Bell, Top Prospects. Again, this set, I think you're looking for a Jeter rookie, but there's a Reggie Jackson. But I don't think that Jeter rookie in particular is worth all that much money. Got a Ty Cobb, Barry Bonds, Pinnacle, MVP. Got a Javi Lopez rookie rocker. Put those two over there, Bonds and the Javi Lopez. There's a Ryan Klesko rookie rocker. Another Ryan Klesko. These are just the base ones. Is that Manny? Yep, Manny, rookie prospect on the Pinnacle. Not too bad. We'll put that over there. We got Brian Taylor, who everybody had high hopes for back in the day. There's another Cliff Floyd prospects. Let's see what else we got here. This was just like a little handful that was left in the box. Got a Wangan, home field advantage. There's another Manny rookie. That's two Manny rookies we pulled out of there. There's an action-packed Emmitt Smith and a Troy Aikman. No, back-to-back. That's what it says. I was trying to read that. Troy Aikman. Okay, let's see what else we got here. There's a Larry Walker and a Mike Schmidt. Larry Walker is Electric Diamond. That is the second Electric Diamond that we have gotten out of that boxes. There is a Mike Schmidt, Top Prospect, Brooke Keshnick. Still not a Jeter, but there's Smoltzy, Ted Williams. We've got a Tim Davis Diamond debuts. I mean, they're not bad cards, but it's just the condition of them is not it's not conducive to turning around and selling them because of how there's a Ted Williams draft pick, Trot Nixon, Cecil Fielder, Lou Gehrig, another Lou Gehrig, Tim Salmon. There's Charlie Ward of the New York Knicks, New York Knickerbockers. Ooh, that's exciting. There's an Alex Rodriguez Classic. Is that a gold or is that just the card is faded that much? I don't know if that's anything special or not, but we'll look that one up. Little A-Rod Classics. Alex Ocha. Now, Diamond Debuts. James Mouton. Alan Bennis. Chan-Ho Park. Rick Meyer. Set all those over there. Rick Meyer. And then we will check out what's in this Fleer pack. So far, we have not had much success on the Flair packs. There you go. Tom Glavine's not bad. The other one's only had like 4 or 5 cards. I don't know why this one's got so many, but Vince Coleman, Raul Cormier, Todd Hundley, Luis Gonzalez. There's a Don Mattingly. It's not too shabby. And Raul Mondesi. All right, we'll set those over there. Let's see what we got in here. We'll check it out. Like I said, we're going to go for an hour, so about another 15 minutes. There's a Brett Favre. Oh, see, there is a gold. That looks like a Brett Favre gold. as well as a Rick Meyer gold. I think these are turnaround backwards, so let's... No, see, every time I say that, they're just flippity floppity. All right, we'll just do it like this. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Kevin Williams stuck to somebody. I'm not going to unstick him because that pulls the paper off. There's a Drew Bledsoe. Jason Elam is definitely stuck with a whole bunch of people. Greg Hill. Trent Dilfer. Gold Zone rookie. That's pretty cool. I'll hang on to that. Lake Dawson rookie. Brett Favre. Dan Wilkinson. Trent Dilfer rookie. There's another Trent Dilfer rookie. Brett Favre. There's a lot of Brett Favre in here. And there have been a few of the Topps Finest, but we have not come across anybody huge in those Topps Finest. There's Natron Means, Topps Finest. There's a Bowman's Best, Roger Clemens, with some serious fading and bluing and greening, and which the Topps Finest and the Bowman's Best will do. Brett Favre. There's a Barry Sanders. These are, yep, they are sleeved up at least inside of there. There's some Braille on the back. It's kind of cool. Come on, guys. There we go. Steve Young. Steve Young is stuck to some. Nope, that is just Steve Young. Okay, never mind. I want to break that, which we already did. Curtis Conway. Oh, that is our first basketball after the Shannon Sharp. That is our first basketball card. It's the Dikembe Mutombo. Ultra Power. It's pretty sweet. Now we're into basketball now, apparently. Del Curry. Hey, we'll take that any day of the week. This is a 94-95 Fleer Ultra. Shaq. It's not too bad. Put Shaq over here. Add it to the collection. It's our first basketball run. Derek Coleman. And that was the end of the basketball run. Hope you guys enjoyed the basketball run. Ricky Weeks. Sterling Sharp. Let's see. Did we do these guys already? I don't know if we did. Emmett. Nope, we didn't because we would have set Emmett over there. So it's an easy way. Ooh, there's a Rodney Hampton. Bowman. Team leaders. Mark Price. I guess we're back on the basketball. Oh, that's nice. Warp Speed Action Pack. Barry Sanders. It's not a bad card right there. I'll look all these up and see what the value is on them and everything. But right now we're just thumbing through it. Creating piles and throwing cards on the ground. Just threw 3 of them on the ground over here, including a Brett Favre. Brett Favre to the ground. Again, try not to scratch my nose because a lot of the cards look like these guys here. Not these guys. All right, so we got Paul Molitor, Cecil Fielder, little Fred McGriff with Cal Ripken Jr. behind him. Paul Molitor. I mean, like I said, I'm going to try to sell some of these. See, there are some Griffey cards. Griffey. Mike Messina, Gold Rush. Any Griffey cards, lovely. But those cards that are especially not sleeved up or not in a top loader, there's the Patriots. But you can see where something got in this box and got poor Dan Wilkinson and Rick Meyer. A little bit of Tim Salmon up there in the corner. Jameer Miller, and Troy Aikman. All got eaten up by whatever animal was in these. There's some packs in here, but I think they're open. I think they're open packs. We're going to look at them. So we got some 94 Topps Football Series 1. Already been opened, but we're going to see what's in here. We'll get rid of the packs. What is in here is what we call a brick, but there is a James Hardy. I don't think that's Topps gold. I think that's just, yeah, they're all gold. I think we can pull these apart. We'll try it very gently. Ron Stark. Ooh. Chris Mims. Oh, come on. You know you want to. Oh, you know you want. There we go. Oh, there's a Jerome Bettis. Be gentle with the Bettis. Bettis is dirty, though. There you go. A little Jerome Bettis. Early on the Rams. Bettis on the Rams. Trey Johnson and Jay Taylor stuck together. Howard Cross. I don't know what we're going to be. 94. I don't know what big rookies are going to be in this top stuff, but Carl Lee sure ain't it. Come on. You guys know you want to separate. Howard Cross. Vincent Brown. All right, so nothing too exciting in those packs. All right, let's see what else we got here. We got the Pride of the Knicks. Charlie Ward. Nature on Means. Eugene Robinson. Like I said, there's a bunch of Sterling Sharp and Shannon Sharp in here for sure. These are bricked up. We ain't going to fool with them. There's another Electric Diamond. Andre Rison. That is the fourth Electric Diamond we pulled. Back to basketball a little bit. And we got two players. We got Alonzo Mourning. Stuck to Eric Montross, which is a rookie, but it's not the these are not the rookies you're looking for. These guys are all bricked up over here. Not going to fool with it. Don McClain, Mark Collins, and Tom Glavine. Yep. Let's see. Dave Justice. All right, these guys are all flipped around. Heath Schuler. Ooh, watch out now. Whole lot of Heath Schuler. Okay. Jim Kelly. What do we got here? Joe Carter. Johnny, like Johnny Rocket, but that's Johnny Mitchell. Johnny Mitchell. Don McLean. These guys are all kind of stuck together. There's a David Palmer on top. And these guys are all stuck together, so we'll skip that. Heath Schuler. Heath Schuler on the gold zones. 2 gold zones. Greg Hill. We've got an Eric Rett on the gold zone. Marshall Faulk. Man, we need a Marshall Faulk gold zone. Would be nice. But we'll put Marshall Faulk over there. Eric Rett. I don't like it when they're sleeved up and they're still bricked together. There's a Drew Bledsoe. That's not a sign of proper card care, which obviously this was not properly cared for because there's rat turds and some roach stuff in there. Heath Schuler, the regular run. Nature on Means. Bettis. Joe Montana. Ooh, that's nice. There's a Dan Marino gold zone, which you can see it's got some paper loss down here and over here. But that's the old gold zone, Dan Marino. We'll set that over there. Darnay Scott. Let's see what else we got. Have we done all these? I think we did, didn't we? Yeah. Okay. Those are bricked up over here. It's a whole brick. Woo! 75 years of NFL. Stuck to it, Kevin Williams. Come on now. I'd like to see what 75 years. Commemorative card. Skybox commemorative. Russell, Maryland. Raul Mondesi. Got a top stadium club. Jason Elam. Drew Bledsoe. Bettis. Rookie of the Year card. There's a Steve Avery. Cal Ripken Jr. That's the second one of those. There's a Charles Barkley. And a Sandy Alomar Jr. There's a Kevin Smith. Yep. Rodney Hampton. What's this? Aaron Seeley. Jeff Bagwell, studio. And Greg Maddox on the studio. It's not too bad. All right, let's see what else we got here. We're going to get through this box, and that'll be about it because we're almost at about an hour. Nature on Means. There's a sweet little Barry Sanders. There's a lot of Barry Sanders in here, and he does sell pretty well. There's a Topps Finest 3,000-yard club. Phil Simms. That's not as in rough shape as the other ones were with the bluing and everything. There's Joe Montana. Elway. Let's see. I mean, I like that these are top-loaded, but Heath Schuler. There's Brett Favre. We'll just throw Troy Aikman on the ground. Who needs that? Who needs Troy Aikman? We'll just toss him around. There's Troy Aikman. There's an Emmett. We'll keep the Emmett. Emmett stays in the collection. Eric Rett. Oh, there you go. There's a Bonds. Little small-headed Bonds. Right there. We'll keep the Bonds. Bonds still sells pretty good. Bettis. Bledsoe. Joe Montana. Jim Kelly. We're looking for more of the finest or some finest refractors or something of the, there's Charlie Ward. Plenty of Charlie Ward. If anyone's looking for Charlie Ward, we got Charlie Ward. But I think only that one. There's Marshall Faulk rookie. Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk. We're loaded up on Marshall Faulk rookies as well. There's another Emmett. I think that's about the third or fourth one of those we pulled out. Steve Atwater. Let's see. This is a receipt from 95. 95, which is about right for these cards. Willie Davis. That's pretty cool. Pacific. Mario Bates. Dave Justice. Rodney Hampton. Jerry Rice. That's kind of cool. Cornelius Bennett. Willie McGinnis, rookie. All right, we'll start putting these back in here. Well, I got a couple more rows to go through on this stuff. Come on now. Oh, just throw that around. That's how you handle cards right there, folks. I don't know if you're if you handle cards as well as I do, but you just toss it around like nobody cares. But I'm trying to not get rat and roach stuff all over me. So I'm trying to gingerly handle these. But this is definitely going to require a hand washing session, a firm hand washing session. But I will say these cards overall are probably better than the Goodwill stuff that we were going through earlier. So to the people that gave us these cards to kind of thumb through and just wanted to get rid of them, we appreciate it. There's a Frank Thomas studio. We got Wangan bricked up to some people. Garrison Hurst. Little Dan Marino. Wesley Person. Let's see what that is. Is that a team card? Super team card? Atlanta Falcons super team card. You could send these in if your team won. I do not believe that they did then, but I have a Braves one where they actually did win. Eric Rhett, but I never sent it in. Dave Palmer. Charles Barkley. There's a little bit of basketball in here. Keem Olajuwon. Let's see, are these all backwards? Good portion of them are. Junior Seau. I think that's the first Junior Seau I remember seeing. Calvin Jones. John Elway. There's a lot of Elway, a lot of Montana, a lot of Marino, which, I mean, if you're going to get people, that's the people you want to get. Heath Schuler, rookie. There's a Marcus Allen. Playoff Club. It's kind of cool. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Stan Humphries. Dan Marino. Brett Favre. Klesko. There's a lot of Klesko, too, that I've noticed. Considering the area that I'm in, I don't find that shocking. Steve Young. Nobody exciting here at all. I don't know who that is. Michael Jackson. Not that Michael Jackson. Not that Michael Jackson. There's a checklist with Joe Montana on there. Let's see. David Palmer, Greg Hill, Willie McGinnis, Sterling Sharp. There's a lot of Sterling Sharp and a lot of Shannon Sharp in here as well. It's weird, kind of the Drew Bledsoe. There's a lot of that. Bryant Young, Natron Means, Derek Alexander, Charles Johnson. That's not bad. We'll put Charles Johnson over here. Brett Favre with Mario Bates. Rick Meyer, another Charles Johnson. Heath Schuler, Steve Young, Sam Adams, Lake Dawson, Charlie Garner. There's another Emmett. That's about the fifth or sixth one of those. Eric Rhett. What we'll do with that is we'll go through and see which one's in the best condition, and we'll end up keeping that one. Thomas Lewis. I know it's nothing exciting. We're not pulling, any cards that we're going to be retiring on, but this stuff is fun to look at, and I enjoy it. I'm not as much of there's a Trent Dilfer rookie. I'm not as much of a football person as I am a baseball person. So I would probably fully appreciate that Frank Thomas, because that's always a good photo right there, more than I will some of these football cards. But I will take an Emmett, and I do like to set aside some Barry Sanders, because that tends to sell pretty well. And I'm going to try to sell these cards for those folks, or at least what I can salvage, what I can clean up. I mean, it hasn't been terrible as far as just condition-wise has been terrible, but it hasn't been terrible as far as players that you're looking for. There's a Marshall Faulk rookie. We've had several of those, several Marshall Faulk rookies. Let's see. There's another Barry Sanders. We can definitely put together a Barry Sanders lot, as well as any of the Sharp brothers. Jerry Rice, there's been a bunch of that. There's another Sterling Sharp, Troy Aikman, Eric Rhett, Steve Young, Michael Irvin, Charles Johnson, Trent Dilfer. Let's get through this group here. Junior Seau. These are all kind of turned around, so we'll flip it around. Aaron Seeley. Wonder if that's any different. I don't think so. Raul Mondesi, Eric Karros. There's another Bonds. That's about the third one of those that we've gotten. Pretty cool. We'll set some Bonds aside. Mike Piazza. We had a Piazza rookie and the Goodwill stuff that we were going through. There's another Sterling Sharp. Shocker, we would run across a Sterling Sharp. James Baldwin. Star rookies. There were some other star rookies there that we could have gotten, but that was Joe Montana, Johnny Morton, stuck to Dave Hollins, another Shannon Sharp. Oh, Junior Seau. Tools of the game. Steve Young. Those are all stuck together. That's when you know they're good, when they are stuck together and just beautiful like that. All right, let's see here. Natron Means, Eric Curry. Those are stuck together. Junior Seau, Stubblefield, Aikman, Reggie Brooks, William Floyd. There's another Dion. That's about the fifth or sixth Dion we pulled out of here. Darnay Scott, Jerome Bettis, Moose Johnston, Shane Carver. Bettis, that's not Bettis' rookie, I don't think, is it? Let's take a look. It's possible. Troy Aikman, Sterling Sharp, Brett Favre. There's a lot of Favre in here. There's an excessive amount of Favre, Elway. I mean, if you're going to have players like, if you're going to have a bunch of cards, it might as well be some of the top quarterbacks from back in the day. Like, I don't think there's a lot of Natron Means collectors. There's a Sterling Sharp Gold Zone. I've had a couple Gold Zones so far. Gold Zone. Jerome Bettis. Barry Sanders. Jerome Bettis. Junior Seau, Chalk Talk, Ryan Yarborough, Derek Alexander. I mean, it's pretty much the same guys over and over again. I'm going to go a little quicker now. I don't need to name off every player. Elway, I mean, if we see something, like we haven't seen anything numbered or like any huge rookies or like Dwayne Washington ain't getting it done. But there's a rookie, Ron Moore. These guys had a meeting of the Roaches. Top of that, Bryant Young there. Yeah. All right, we got one more column of cards here, I think. Yeah, it looks like it. One more card column, and this is all she wrote. We got these packs here. Like I said, they've already been opened, but there's a Jerome Bettis Rookie of the Year in his Notre Dame gear. Dan Wilkinson. All right, so this pack has this? Yeah, this has been opened. I was all excited. I was like, maybe it hasn't been opened, but it has. All right, let's see what we got. There's a Jerry Rice. There's a Joe Montana. Dan Marino. Jerry, I think someone just put halfway decent cards in here because that seems like a weird packed correlation there. Emmett Smith, another Jerry Rice, SkyTech Stars, Heath Schuler. It's pretty much the same guys. Dana Stubblefield that has been, I think someone just put whatever cards they wanted back in here. Let's see what we got. Oh, give it a little crack. Little crack, folks. Greg Hill, crack the back. Shannon Sharp, Marshall Falk rookie, another one of those. We've had several of those. Stuck to Natron Means. Oh, come on, don't hurt him. There we go. I think the Falk rookies have probably been the best rookies that we've pulled out of here so far. It's not like I'm pulling out a Tom Brady or anything. This is from 94, 95 type stuff. Elway, Emmett Smith. Yeah, there's 2 Emmett Smith cards in there, so I'm thinking they just stuffed the cards back in there of the ones they wanted to hang on to. Let's see. This is going to be some 94 Pinnacle. 94 Pinnacle. That is pretty much one big brick. Minus, I think I can save this Bettis. Yep. Bucky Brooks. Yeah, there's a Joe Montana. I don't want to mess him up. Oh, yeah, definitely did. You know, when I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't want to mess that up, and then I go right ahead and do that. Okay. We'll leave those alone. All right, let's see what else we got in here. Oh, see, that's like what's common with these, everything we're pulling out of here. Just going to thumb through it. Stam Humphreys. There's another Marshall Falk rookie, rookie card. Another Barry Sanders. We're big on the Pinnacle here. Joe Montana, whoever had these before, was big on the Pinnacle. I think what they said is they were cleaning out properties for people. And one of the properties that they had cleaned out had these cards like in the basement or, you know, somewhere like that. And they had pretty much been chewed up. And so they're like, I don't think these have any value, but if you want to take a look at them and see if you can sell them, you know, make a little money. So they gave them to us to sell. If we think we can do anything, I mean, we can lot some of these together. There's an Emmett card. We can lot some of these together, like some of the Joe Montanas and some of the Marinos, and just sell them as a group. Once we get them cleaned up, re-sleeved, you know, some of the rat stuff off of them. There's a couple Deons. There's 3 Deons. Eric Rhett. I mean, there's not bad cards in here. Johnny Morton. But it's going to be the overall condition. And the fact that we went through the Goodwill stuff. There's some Charles Johnsons. And the Goodwill stuff, we were hunting for Griffey cards. And there was not a single Griffey. And a whole binder of Mariners cards. There's another Marshall Falk. I think the Marshall Falks are probably going to be, you know, if we lump all those together, we can probably get a decent couple dollars for it. That Emmett's kind of cool. Not too shabby. Ricky Waters. There's a Bettis. I think that's his own sleeve that he was stuck to. There's another Bettis. That's cool. I like the little picture down there. Thurman Thomas. Another Bettis with the ram horns. Battering ram. Jerome Bettis. The Scattaboo of his time, if you will. Or more like Scattaboo is the Jerome Bettis of our time. Tim Brown. Alvin Harper. Eric Rhett. Quadra Ishmael. That's kind of one of those foil designs, but it's not a variation or anything like that. Sterling Sharp. There's a lot of Sterling Sharp in here. Tim Brown. Alvin Harper. These guys are stuck together. Jerry Rice. That's about the 5th one of those that we found. What happened there? There's a Warren Moon Pacific Collection. Mario Bates. Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to have to clean up this area and then wash our hands thoroughly. Thorough hand washing before you go wiping your nose or picking your nose or digging in your ear or anything. This is how the plague was started. Rats and fleas. I haven't seen any fleas, So we should be safe there. These are bricked up. We ain't even gonna fool with them. Go right back in there. You can see where something got a hold of Eric Curry and Johnny Morton up there. That was the issue with these. There's a Barry Sanders and a Jerry Rice. We're hanging on to the Barry Sanders. These, I'm not even going to fool with. I'm just going to take these out of the packs so I can throw the packs away. But these are bricked up. One of the few basketball cards, Wesley Person. We've only come across 5 or 6 of those. Oh, maybe a little more. There's a Scottie Pippen. At least the guys, we did find one Shaq in this. So at least the guys that we have seen for basketball have all been kind of halfway decent. Jim Everett. Tim Worley. There's a sweet Bettis right there. Not eaten up. Look at that. It's actually not too shabby on the Bettis. Oh. Steve Young's not bad. Put Steve Young back in there, though. There's a screw down holder. See, that's probably the best Topps Finest that we've come across yet. The Ishmael, but they're not. See, they blew up like that. They turn blue or green or whatever color when they're out in the elements. But I mean, it's a pretty card. I wish some of those Finest cards made it through a little better because they're nice cards. Here's another pack of Pinnacle, which is going to be bricked. So we're not even going to fool with it. Bricked. Going back in the pile. I can't really scoot those because there's a stack of cards up ahead of it. Eric Montross. Another Eric Montross rookie. It's the second one of those. Rodney Hampton. Tim Salmon. There's a lot of Tim Salmon in here too. There's an excessive amount of Tim Salmon. All right, that's going to be... Oh, there's things on me. Yep. That's a brick of cards right there. You never know. There could be a LeBron rookie in there just hanging out or something. Not really, because this is not from that time period. But there's an Emmett. Just added some paper loss to it, so we ain't fooling with those. These are all bricked. That's a brick. Brick. House. Commemorative card. She's mighty. There's a Marshall Faulk rookie, if I can get it off of there. That we have found a lot of. We have found a lot of Marshall Faulk rookie cards. So if anyone's looking for Marshall Faulk rookie cards, we've got some. But, like I said, not the greatest condition. That's pretty cool looking. What's this right here? Something that is stuck. Jerry Rice. It's pretty cool. Skybox Jerry Rice. I don't know what that is, but we'll set that aside. Ricky Waters, John Elway. There's a Herman Moore that has seen some more days, some better days, for sure. Thurman Thomas, Heath Schuler, stuck to some people, so they're going right back in there. All right, let's see how these Skybox are. We're not opening these packs; they're already open. We're just seeing if they're a brick as well. Ta-da! Now, I had seen somewhere that you can put them in a humidor, and that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to put them in a humidor. There's a Detroit Pistons ticket for the Sacramento Kings. No autograph or none. Sometimes when I find old tickets like that, if you're really lucky, you can find an autograph on it. I'm assuming this one's a brick also. Yep. Brick. She's a brick. House. These are brick too. So I'm going to try to get a humidor of some sort and then put some cards in there and see what happens. There is some 94 game day. 94 game day. These are the bigger cards, and they are also not as badly, but they're also bricked a little bit. Sam Adams. Oh, you gotta love that crunch. There's a Troy Aikman. Yep. Second year of Willie Roaf. I know I keep saying, oh yeah, these things are bricked up. I'm gonna get a humidor, and then I'm just sitting here prying them apart. Just because I don't think these cards are gonna be worth me. All right, we'll move on. So Rick Meyer. I see a Brett Favre down there. Chuck Levy. Dan Marino. So, I mean, it's pretty much the same players. I haven't seen Hakeem Olajuwon. I haven't seen a Jordan or anything like that. We did see one Shaq. We had one Shaq card. There's a Topps, man. We got a Topps Gold in here. You never know. Tim McDonald. Eugene Robinson. Vincent Brown. Nope. What's this one? Oh, Jose Canseco with crease across his chin. That's really what you're looking for. The crease across the chin cards are very popular. There's a checklist. See if the checklist can come. Oh, the checklist just slides right off. Oh, yep. Hope you guys are enjoying this version of Watch Me Slam These Cards Around. Still, we haven't found a Jordan. We did see a couple Pippins. We have had a couple Pippins. I will say that. There's another Marshall Faulk rookie. There's a big old Brett Favre. There's a Natron Means. No Jordans. One Shaq. These guys all stuck together. Bryant Young. I wish they would have sleeved them all up in the very beginning. But again, these were not my cards, and I don't know that I would have sleeved the whole majority of them up. Those are bricked up. Dan Marino. Wayne Gandy. We'll save that for when we get a humidor, see if that actually works. Do I believe it's going to work? I don't know. And it probably, even so, when I saw the video of people using the humidors to pop them apart, it still had some paper loss, just not nearly as much as just trying to pry them off of there. So we'll give it a go. We'll see what happens. All right, so that is probably going to be the best Topps Finest that we have come up with. But again, you can see the coloration and the just loses its luster for sure. But that's the best one. That or the Quadre Ishmael rookie that we had. Dan Marino stuck to some people. Wesley Person. Again, there's not a lot of basketball that's been through here. There's not really a lot of baseball either. This is mostly football. Those guys are stuck together. You guys are all stuck together. Something looks like it's... Oh, no, I'm not pulling those apart. Mariano Duncan? No. Randy Milligan? Yeah. Oh, look at that. That is a second redemption card of some sort that we've had. This is a Pick Pinnacle redemption card for Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer. And let's see when this one expired. The last one expired on the 31st of December, 1994. And this one expired on May 31st, 1995 on the Trent Dilfer redemption. So we missed out on the Trent Dilfer redemption. Steve Young, commemorative card. Willie McGinnis. And we've got this little stack over here. Oh, man, that's like a nest. There's a whole... Oh, those are all bricked up. That's bricked up. There's a Barry Sanders. That's loose at least. We'll take that out of there. Out of the rat's nest. We'll save that for the rat's nest. Willie McGinnis. There's a John Elway. Oh, but yeah, that's... Somebody made a sweet little nest in here. There it is. See it? Little nest. Stuck to those cards. These guys are all collect frequent score points. What is this? Oh. Yep, those are a brick. These are a brick down here by the nest. So all this, the rest of this is kind of bricked. So if we get a humidor, we'll try to crack those apart. We got our collect frequent points. There's a Cowboys. First round, Neil Smith. So yeah, overall the cards in here were not bad cards, just bad condition. They're bad condition cards. But I will try to put them together in a group and in a lot to sell them for the people that ask me to try to sell them for them. I'm going to have to clean them up. As you can see, this all came out of this box. I have some other cards to go through, but we're not going to do it tonight. I said we were going to do about an hour, and I think we've been on here an hour and a half. So, but that was pretty cool. We got through part of the Goodwill stuff that we were going to go through. We did not get to, we bought a 5,000 count box from Goodwill. I don't think it's full of 5,000 cards. Might have been 5, could have been a 3,000. I haven't looked yet, but it's all junk wax stuff like those other 2 binders were that we got. So I'm not expecting much, especially since the other Goodwill things that we bought, the binders did not have any Griffey cards, had only a couple other halfway decent cards. We can throw all this stuff out, but you can see this mess here that all of this has created. So we're going to end it right here, and we're going to clean this up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I just figured I'd dig through those cards. Everybody can take a look at them. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but I love doing it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll say probably the Marshall Fox were probably our best bet of actually being worth something. All right. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.